Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. That over there is at Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. And yeah, we're going to do what we usually do here. We're going to rip some football cards. We're going to rip some hockey cards. Jared's even got some wrestling cards, but we're going to do something a little out of the ordinary today.
Yes.
So that last segment it rotates in and out a lot of things. Both Jared and I are Simpsons fans. In the course of conversation, the idea came up to talk about who we think are the most irresponsible characters on The Simpsons.
I'm still trying to remember how we got to that point, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like,
oh, I can tell you because my buddy Pete texted me that letting Barney Gumble run a snowplow service was one of the most irresponsible things ever done on The Simpsons.
That's right. Yes.
And then you were like, "Well, I could think of things worse than that," and then here we are. So check that out later. Some of the names you'll expect. Some of the names, maybe you've forgotten about, but good list there. Well, if you got any more to add, we'll want to find out.
No, look, I think we're a show that covers the gambit here. We cover a wide variety of topics. You'll see from the cards that we're about to rip on the show, but also like we could also talk about things like poison. We could talk about things like Skittles. And if you're wondering what those last two have anything to do with anything, just stick around for the Simpsons segment. I'll find a way to work them both in.
He will. He's not lying, folks. Now, we do have a jam-packed show today. Like, I even made a trip to the hobby shop yesterday. We're not even going to get to that today. We'll get to that maybe next week.
Oh, man, yeah.
I didn't have time to really, when I go, I like to just not have a time when I got to leave. I had to get back to do work.
I picked up some Lucy's on eBay this week. So they didn't arrive in time for today, but hopefully we'll have them next week.
And I also made a Toy Wiz order because I had to replenish the packs in the football department primarily. So that'll be here because of Thanksgiving later in the week. Hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving if we forget to say it later. So those packs will be here next week. But let's talk about the packs that we're going to rip open today. And first and foremost, it's only an 8-card pack, but this was a random one I found in a hobby shop however many months ago. It's a 1997 Pro Line football. We're looking for that Tony Gonzalez rookie right there. You see Ray Caruth in parentheses because he's also a rookie class, and we have pulled him on the show before, and that immediately gets thrown into the floor for the cat to, do whatever it wants to it. So hopefully we don't pull that again. And then, I opened up that hobby box of Upper Deck Series 2 2024-25 hockey, looking to just go through a couple of those today as well, see if we get something nice out of that. Hopefully a Macklin Celebrini rookie. Off the heels of me going to my first Sharks game of the season with my daughter, which she ended up meeting Sharky, which was nice. But what do you got the Wrestlepack Palooza today?
Yeah, we're running the gamut on these wrestling packs here, and why not with Survivor Series this weekend, live from Petco Park in San Diego, California. So 3 packs kind of covering 3 different eras. The old wax packs from the 80s. Covering the golden age, the SmackDown pack covering my favorite era personally, the Attitude Era, and a little bit more modern with the 2021 trading cards as well. So kind of spanning like 4 decades here, worthwhile of good wrestling content.
And I love those older packs. We've opened up the SmackDown packs before. We opened up that 87 tops too, but like the older cards are where it's at for me in terms of the wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
Now Petco Park, I've been there for Metallica, not a Padres game. Fantastic stadium. Like you can't. It's like probably the best outside stadium experience I've had in terms of, just A, the weather because it's San Diego. B, the amenities, just the overall vibe. Everybody in San Diego is usually pretty chill, so that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I don't have the money to fly cross country and go to the Royal Rumble Survivor Series last minute. I don't have the money to do that, but I would imagine it's a pretty cool aesthetic seeing like a wrestling show there. It's probably like going like a concert at a ballpark. Like it's probably just really cool.
I'll say this: baseball stadiums are acoustically way better than football stadiums if you're going to do an outside show, because usually they put the stage out in center field and then the seats kind of beat like that, and that actually helps with the sound. So that Metallica concert I saw in San Diego, I remember James Hetfield actually just saying at one point, like, "Wow, it sounds really good in here." So and he said that at Yankee Stadium too when they did the Big Four there, and that's not something he says at every show, and that comes from a guy that's seen him 39 times. So there you go. But
That's also a guy who's done a billion of these concerts. So I would imagine he would know a thing or two about how they actually sound.
he's a stickler about that stuff. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to the leadoff pack here. Let's talk a little week 13 in the NFL and week 12. All right, so we're going to do a little pro line football here. Your Giants looked good for a few quarters yesterday, and then the Lions came back and won. My Jets played a good first half in Baltimore, and then the Ravens did what they did do, and they came back and won.
The Giants gave us the full Jameis experience yesterday, and as someone who is very much a Jameis stan, I very much appreciate it. And I also appreciate the Giants acknowledging what needed to be done today by canning defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. After blowing your 5th double-digit lead of the season and going 2-5 in games where you have a double-digit point lead, yeah, you can't keep your job after that.
I mean, he was a guy that people wanted out weeks ago. Like, even before, like, he had the meltdowns, they were like, oh, we don't like this guy. It's not going well. And, yeah, there you go. So, Giants slowly cleaning house, I guess. We'll see if Joe Shane keeps his job heading into the offseason. But head coach out, defensive coordinator out. Jameis yesterday. That's what you pay him to do. That's why you pay him to be the backup on your team. That's exactly what he's there for.
I mean, I'm sure you saw the highlights. That was as entertaining a Jameis performance as you're going to see.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can't even be mad if he's going to be your backup quarterback because, like, it's like, all right, if he comes in the game, at least there's that possibility. And we've all accepted the fact that he's probably going to throw an interception at some point. But he's actually gotten better about that. It's not as much as like a lock as it used to be. All right, so we got an 8-card pack here. We got Ty Law, Patriots there. They take care of business against the Bengals yesterday. Joe Burrow should be back for Thursday. We'll see.
And the Giants have the Patriots on Monday Night Football next week.
So the Patriots should probably take care of business there, but maybe the Giants make it exciting. I mean, they've been playing exciting football lately, so
probably. I know the Patriots have some offensive line issues right now, and that's not necessarily what you want going up against a Giants team that has a pass rush, but I don't know. We'll see. The Giants will probably find a way to lose that game too, which is fine with me at this point.
Apparently, the Will Compton injury is not serious, so even if he misses like Monday Night Football, and then I think they have the bye after that or something like that, apparently he's going to be okay. We'll see here. Now we got Tony Banks, good quarterback there in his day for a little while, pictured with the Rams. They take care of business last night on Sunday Night Football. Baker Mayfield down with the shoulder injury. See how severe that's going to be and how long he's going to be out. Luckily, they're in the NFC South, but
yeah, it's a bummer for Baker. He's fun to root for. He's fun to watch, and I think you saw last night. Like, I'm not going to say that Matthew Stafford wrapped up the MVP last night, but like, he's certainly, he's been the leader in the clubhouse for a few weeks now, and he certainly did nothing last night to hurt that position. And playing as well as he did last night in primetime spot when the entire voting block in the entire league is watching. That's what you want to see there.
And they have just tough enough of a schedule down the stretch that it keeps them relevant. That, like, it's not like, okay, like they may try to rest it because they're in a tight division and you got matchups. Okay, so you played Tampa last night. You go to Carolina next week. Okay, they should win that game. At the Cardinals, home for the Lions, at the Seahawks, short week. That's a Thursday night game. At the Falcons, and then home against the Cardinals to wrap it up. So they have just enough of with the Seahawks, especially, and the 49ers lurking, that, he's going to have to play all those games down the stretch, and he should stay in the conversation and win it. I mean, he's, like you said, he certainly earned it. The addition of Devontae Adams has helped. Kyron Williams having a good year. Puka Nacua having a good year. Defense is, I mean, if you say pick a Super Bowl winner today, like, it's tough to not pick the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC kind of looks wide open after the Eagles lost yesterday to the Cowboys, and you have the Central, the top teams in the Central are kind of a little bit of a jumbled mess there. Nobody's taken the Bucs seriously as a Super Bowl contender, so it might be the Rams conference to lose at this point.
That's the thing. Well, I mean, but the thing is, they are in a tough division with the Seahawks, and so they can't afford to slip up because the Seahawks are right there, and the Niners. I don't know if they could catch those two. They would need a couple of losses, but they got enough to keep them honest down the stretch, and hopefully they get that bye. Because again, they're a tough team not to root for. Like, there's no unless you're a fan of the Niners, Cardinals, or Seahawks, I don't see you really hating the Rams. Staying with the Rams is Roman Pfeiffer, good linebacker in his day, a fellow number 58. Let's see here. We got one of the rookies we had put up on the screen earlier. Great offensive tackle in his day for many, many years. Walter Jones, with the Florida State uniform on there with the Seahawks. So they took him that year, first round.
Yep. And Hall of Famer, Seahawks legend there. I mean, probably as good a player at his position, certainly for his era, as anyone in the league. So
I'll have to send that to Scott Engel. He might like that. Let's see here. We got Chris Sanders, Houston Oilers wide receiver. That's how old these cards are, 97. They were still the Oilers. They were still the Oilers for the first year or two in Tennessee before they switched to the Titans too. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 seasons, but
I think it was just 1 season. They were the Tennessee Oilers.
That was Steve McNair was on that team. Eddie George was on that team. Let's see here. Speaking of all-time greats, Andre Reed at wide receiver there with the Bills. Here with the Bills, I mean, with the way the Patriots are going, can the Bills still make a run having to pretty much play on the road every week? Because that's what they're looking at right now. Because unless New England does have a home game against Buffalo, a home game against Baltimore on the schedule, but they also have the Jets, Dolphins. I don't see the Bills being able to catch them at this point.
And New England's already beaten Buffalo in Buffalo, so that should be factored in as well. I couldn't have been less impressed by the Bills watching them on Thursday Night Football. And I know the Texans have a really good defense, but that Bills defense did not look very good. They don't really have much in terms of skill position players. I don't think they're particularly coached well. Other than that, they're in great shape right now.
Okay, that's all you need. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the Jets, the Patriots, and the Giants. Besides that Bills and Ravens game on the Patriots schedule, or the Bills looking at their remaining schedule at Pittsburgh this week, home to the Bengals, but Joe Burrow will probably be back unless he gets hurt on Thanksgiving. And then at the Patriots, home for at the Browns, but then home for the Eagles and what's potentially the last game at that stadium. And then I'm sorry, the following week against the Jets would be the last home game in that stadium. So
and by the way, the with the Patriots, them having the late bye is going to be so big for them.
Normally, there are teams where that late bye is like a killer. Maybe they're not. You can make the argument for the Niners too with how banged up they are. That I mean, they're very likely going to the playoffs right now. So getting that bye around the same time to get people maybe a little bit fresher. But yeah, to me, the bye, I would like it right smack in the middle, right where in that range.
I agree, but if you're a good team and and the Patriots are starting to get a little banged up right now, that's a good spot to get the bye. You get it right in December, and you just gear up for the stretch run.
And the bye coming. Well, there's no buys this week because it's Thanksgiving. Everybody plays on Thanksgiving, but yeah, only one more week of buys. After that is I forget the other 2 teams that are also off that week. We got Chris Callaway here with the New York Giants and that sharp old throwback look that they've been sporting lately.
Yeah, that's when they used to be halfway decent. Although 97, they made the playoffs in 97.
They beat the Vikings. They
lost to the Vikings in the wild card game, but they made the playoffs though.
Yeah, I remember that was like a Saturday afternoon game, if I'm not mistaken. Already talked about the Giants before. We got the Cowboys here to close out this pack. Darryl Moose Johnston also doing games for Fox. Still good to hear him on the call. The one time I ever got to hold or wear a Super Bowl ring was Moose's, hanging out up in the 37th floor offices. You know what? The Kevin Feeney office. We were all hanging out. I forget who else was a Moose Johnston. He was either prepping for a show or he just finished up and he had to kill time. And we were talking about, and he's like, "You want to try it on?" I'm like, "Yes, absolutely." And my hand almost fell. It's fucking heavy. Those.
Oh, sure, yeah. I've tried on Mills's Super Bowl ring with the Patriots. So yeah, same deal.
Oh, boom! No wonder why you guys don't wear these things.
And they're just getting even bigger and more elaborate right now. I was watching a video the other day of the Oklahoma City Thunder's championship ring.
Yeah,
and it's the first time I've ever seen a championship ring with a smaller ring inside of it that you could pull out and you could wear that ring around instead.
It's like a Dakota ring almost, like something you'd see out of a 90s cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, but it's pretty cool though. Now if it's funny. Like you say, if you ever won a championship, you'd wear like one of those big championship rings, but like those things are just so gaudy and whatnot. And like, plus you like wear those around publicly, you're just asking to get mugged. So
I feel like it's something you keep in like the jewelry box or whatever, and then we're like, oh, we're doing a 10th anniversary reunion kind of thing. Like, all right, I'm
yeah,
gonna
you
wear
pull it
that.
out for that. You pull it
Yeah.
out for special events like Hall of Fame dinners and stuff like that. But other than that, it's sitting in a safe deposit box.
Yes, that's it, and that safe deposit box is very well hidden. So there we go. So there's short football pack, 8 cards there to go through. A solid pack nonetheless. But let's talk a little week 13 in the NFL. Thanksgiving week, always one of the best. We'll give our picks right here. So Jared had a pretty good week last week. He went 2-0-1. He hit on the Titans plus 13.5 and the Jets plus 14, but loses on the Chiefs -3. And then I lose on the Lions -10.5. I get a push on the Steelers +3. And I still have the Niners -7 tonight on the Night Football against the Panthers. I still feel good about that one. That line really hasn't shifted all that much. 7.5 now.
I push on the Chiefs, right? They won that game by 3.
Yeah, so that was a push. So you went 2-0-1. I am I am 0-1 heading into Monday Night Football tonight, but we'll see if we can get back off the schneid here. Thanksgiving slate. You know, you got the Packers and Lions. Lions 2.5-point favorites, total 48.5. Chiefs, Cowboys. Chiefs 3.5-point road favorites, total 51.5. Bengals, Ravens. Ravens 7-point home favorites, total 51.5. Anything from the Thanksgiving slate while you eat your turkey and your cranberry sauce and all that good stuff? Anything jumping out at you?
Not right off the page. I'd want to see what the rest of the card looks like before I commit to one of these Thanksgiving Day games.
And then on Friday, we got a little Black Friday action between the Bears and the Eagles. Eagles 7-point favorites, total 44.5. I'm not trying to be a Bears hater, but like when you look at all the wins they have, there's like something there that's like, yep, but that. Now
they're fraudulent. Yeah, I mean that's the word you're probably looking for. They're fraudulent.
You got the Eagles this week. You got the Packers twice remaining on the schedule. You close at home against the Bears. They do have the Browns lumped in there. So we're going to see what the Bears are really made of. They come out of this stretch. Now I'll start believing. So that's your Friday game there. Nothing yet. I'm just going to run through and then we'll come back as we like here. Colts 4.5 home favorites to the Texans, total 44.5. Titans are 6.5-point home dogs to the Jaguars, total 42.5. Niners 6.5-point road favorites at Cleveland, total 39.5. Dolphins 6-point home favorites to the Saints, 41.5 the total there. Rams on a short week. No, not on a short week. Excuse me. Panthers on a short week hosting the Rams. Rams 10-point road favorites, total 45.5. Falcons 2.5-point road favorites at the Jets, total 39.5. Buccaneers, we'll see what happens with Baker Mayfield, 2.5-point home favorites, total 45.5 to Arizona. Vikings are at Seattle. Seattle 9.5-point home favorites, total 41.5. Chargers hosting the Raiders. They're double-digit point favorites. 10. I mean, the Raiders look terrible. 10-point favorites, total 40.5. The Chargers. Steelers is hosting the Bills. Bills 3.5-point road favorites, total 47.5. They kept Broncos Commanders on Sunday Night Football. That one can get ugly. Broncos 6.5-point road favorites, total 43.5. And then finally on Monday Night Football, Patriots 7.5-point home favorites, total 46.5 against the Giants. So with that, Mr. Jared Moore, what do you see jumping out at you? What do you like? What don't you want to touch?
All right, there's a couple games right off the bat. I'm going to take the Niners laying 6.5 against the Cleveland Browns. I'm not buying Shedeur Sanders, even though he had his moments yesterday. He made a couple nice throws, but like completed 55% of his passes. QBR was like 8, something like that. I think he threw a pick. I don't remember, but 6.5 points. I know they're home, but I just feel like, all right, you went on the road, you won the game against a Raiders team that is absolutely dreadful. Now let's see you do it again against a 49ers team that's heading into the playoffs. They're going to have their full complement of guys on offense. I feel like they're playing a little bit better defensively as well. So I'm just not a believer in Shedeur Sanders. So that is very much I'm going to fade this player here and go with a more trusted commodity in the Niners.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not a believer in Shador Sanders yet. Like, all right, he went out. Yes, he beat a piss poor Raiders team that fired Chip Kelly, about an hour after the game, as offensive coordinator. Maybe he could be a game manager. I don't know. I mean, listen, like you said, let's see it against a real team this week. You're at home. You have a full week of preparation as the guy now, because that first week when you're becoming the guy is still not the same as that. Now he's in a routine. Now we'll see what he does. But I'm going to tell you a tiny bit, but other way, I'm going to take the over 39.5. 49ers, I know the Browns defense is good. I know they sack the quarterback like crazy. I feel like every week the one thing you see in a Browns game is like, oh, they're like 2 sacks away for the team franchise record for sacks in the game. They get after it. But Niners put up points. Niners defense is playing a little bit better, but they're still porous. They're still dealing with injuries all over. So, Shador is just going to be winging the ball if he can. Cleveland, if they're down, they're going to be throwing more. Jerry Judy's stupid move. Again, talked about this on Rip N Riff a couple of weeks ago. Like, what is the point of that? Like, I just don't get it. Like, anyway, that's a whole other rant. We don't got time today. So, yeah, I think this will clear 39.5. It may not be by a lot, but I think, the Niners can easily get 24, 27 points on Cleveland, and then Cleveland just has to do a little bit on their end.
All right, my second game, I'm going to take the 7.5 points with the Giants on Monday Night Football against the Patriots. I'm still not a believer in the Patriots being quote unquote the best team in the AFC. So there's a little bit of that in this handicap. I feel like the other thing with the Giants, not that you get medals or parades for this, they actually might be like the best 2-10 team in NFL history. Like they're generally in all these games. Now their defense stinks, and that's why they ultimately blow them all at the end. But if you're going to give me over a touchdown against the Patriots on the road, like I feel like the Giants can move the ball. Whether it's I'm guessing it's going to be Jameis one more time this week, and then they'll be Dart after the bye. But I feel like they're going to be able to move the ball against that Patriots defense. I feel like they'll be able to make some plays in the passing game. So, I don't see why the Giants can't score 20, 24 points. And, I don't know that I see the Patriots, covering that number. So, I'll take the 7.5 there.
I like it. The other reason I like that too is, just, historically, the Giants and the Patriots, the Giants always, for whatever reason, seem to play New England close when they need to. The thing that he said about the Giants too is being the best 2-10 team. They're without Malik Neighbors. They're without, right now. And listen, I know we all love Jameis Winston, but he's not Jackson Dart. If Jackson Dart is becoming the man there, which it appears to be. So
no Scatterbo. They missed
Andrew
Thomas the first 4 weeks of the season. And they've had double-digit leads in a lot of these games. Now they've blown a lot of these games, but they've had the lead. So I think that counts for something.
And here's the thing too. I know some people are starting to talk about Abdul Carter as oh, this guy, is a little bit overhyped, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now you got rid of a bad defensive coordinator. Let's get a competent defensive coordinator in there and see what he can do with the pieces there. Because there is the talent. And if you got a guy that doesn't know how to run a defense, then he's not going to know how to use a guy like Abdul Carter. So
Abdul Carter's been fine. If you watch it, they're clearly selling out to not have him wreck the games. That's part of the reason why Brian Burns has had as good a year as he's had.
So again, I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited as a Giants fan, not so much as a Jet fan, but we'll see how the draft goes. We'll see how the Jets mess this up, because you get talks oh, maybe they get Kyler Murray. Oh, maybe they'll trade for Joe Burrow. No. We're not talking about that today, but we're not doing that. My next pick here, I'm going to take the Titans getting 6.5 at home against the Jaguars. The Jaguars, yes, they've been winning. They've been really doing things by the skin of their teeth outside of that Charger game. Titans have been getting gradually better each week. They're still losing a lot of games, but hey, it was a little bit of a back to even get close within a touchdown to the Seahawks. And I know the Seahawks kind of left their foot off the gas a little bit, but that's still a good team that they were able to cover this spread against Seattle. Jacksonville, I think they'll win the game, but I don't think they'll cover. I think Tennessee will keep it close. It's a division game. It's getting late in the season. And yes, I know Jacksonville's got Tennessee twice remaining. Maybe it'll be a different story when they play in Jacksonville. But for this one, I'll take the points with the Titans. I think they can keep it close.
All right, my last one. I'm going to go back to the Thanksgiving slate. I'm going to take over 51.5 points, Chiefs Cowboys.
I hope you're right. That's the game we need to be a high scoring affair.
You need a little razzle dazzle on that game. And the Chiefs, they got a big win last week, but their season is still very much on the line in a week to week basis. I know they struggle to score, which is why I'm very hesitant to take them here, but I still don't trust this Cowboys defense, even though they did a good job yesterday. Like they got out to that huge deficit, but then they did a good job in the second half, like holding Philadelphia to nothing. So I tend to think the Cowboys defense is more what we saw in the first half of the game than the second half of that game. So I think there'll be enough offense. Like 51 and a half is a big number in the NFL, but I feel like we'll find a way to get there.
And one of the things that people say about the Chiefs is they're a different team. They're not like an explosive offense. It's not their game anymore. They play defense. They play ball control, all that stuff. They still have the ability to, dust it off once in a while and put points on the board. And to me, Thanksgiving, short week, it's a big game for both teams. Both teams need to win this. It's not, they're both in a similar situation. So, yeah, I think maybe a little bit early. It's a little, tight, but I think as the game goes on, you'll see it open up more. So, Jared's got the Niners -6.5 at Cleveland. He's got the Giants getting 7.5 at New England on Monday Night Football, and the over 51.5 in KC Dallas. I have the over San Francisco, Cleveland 39.5, Titans +6.5. I got two ways I could go for my last pick here. I'm a little torn. I could either go Broncos -6.5 at Washington. No, I'm going to stay in the AFC South. I don't know what gotten into me, but Texans +4.5 at the Colts. I know the Colts played a good game in Kansas City yesterday, but, 4 straight 4-and-outs in the second half that allowed the Chiefs to creep back into that game and get into overtime and eventually win. Like, I know that's a tough defense, but, the Texans defense is even better. And CJ Stroud is supposed to be back next week. So I think it'll be a tight game. The Colts might eke it out, maybe a last-second field goal. Maybe they win by a point or two, but I'll take the Titans +4.5 here. The Texans, excuse me.
The Colts showed yesterday why you can't take them seriously as a top contender, in my opinion.
And that's the thing. Like, okay, they were close, they got out to the lead, but they might be a playoff team, but they're not going to win around playing like that. If you think if Kansas City comes to their building in the wild card round, they're not going to beat them. Like, it's time to show you're one of the teams that belong. Now, listen, Buffalo has slipped a little bit too, but I mean, the AFC is pretty wide open too. We talked about the NFC. AFC's open too. There we go. Well, there's our picks. I got Broncos -6.5 is something that I'm considering too because Commanders stink, but we'll see how that happens. But we got all of our picks there. Now let's do a quick little hockey here, and then we'll get into some wrestling.
Yes.
I know Jared's excited for that. Little series too. We're just going to see if we pull anything. We talked about Jack Hughes. The Devils have not been playing all that great since that happened, but little adjustment period.
Well, today's a new day. I mean, they got the Red Wings tonight. I know the Red Wings have been playing well, but they're getting a little boost tonight. They're getting Cody Glass back in the lineup. So anytime you get an actual NHL center in the lineup instead of Juho Laakamo, you're doing okay there.
Center depth helps. It's very, very important. So let's see here. We start off with Keandre Miller, picture with the Rangers there, but now with the Hurricanes. We've got Sam Reinert with the Panthers. Bumpy season for them, but they seem to maybe be turning a corner here.
That was a nasty goal he scored against the Devils the other night.
And that was all they got the other night too, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the
1-0 game? It was a 1-0 game. That was the one goal the Devils gave up in that game, and that was a nasty goal to give up.
So we'll see what happens here as the Devils adjust. We got JG Padgeau, the Islanders looking pretty good. Gotta love Schaefer.
They're dealing with some injuries though. Now, I mean, they're not gonna have Romanoff for the next however many months, and I think Padgeau might be hurt too. Let me take a quick look.
Yeah, he is hurt. He's been out of the lineup for a bit. I don't know when he's supposed to come back though. Let's see
he's
here.
Week to week.
Yeah, there you go. We got another Islander, Semyon Varlamov, also I don't believe healthy right now.
No, he hasn't been healthy all year.
We got Liam O'Brien, pictured as a Coyote, but with Utah on the bottom there. Matt Duchene, this is a pack of people that are hurt right now. At the Dallas Stars there. Let's see. Morgan Riley, Toronto Maple Leafs, dealing with their share of injuries right now. We'll call this the infirmary pack.
I mean, that's just the league in general right now. There's just so many injuries. And apparently it's not exclusive to the NHL either. Like the NBA is dealing with a ton of injuries right now too.
They're talking about like, the schedule's too condensed, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know about that. We got Matthias Michelli here. Also Maple Leaf, pictured with the Coyotes there. Trevor Zegras on the greener pastures in Philadelphia. That seems to be working out pretty well for him.
Yeah, it is. It looks like Philadelphia got a bit of a steal there, which really annoys me as a fan of a division rival.
Philly's not a playoff team yet, but they are a team that's going to be a tough team to play night in and night out, and they're going to just hang around the periphery. Next year, maybe they make that move to the playoffs. I mean, they need goaltending help for sure. I mean, I know Dan Vladar has been playing all right, but it's Dan Vladar. We got Timo Meyer bang for your puck there. I'll have to send that one to you in the next care package.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it also be
numbered.
Nice. Oh, it is numbered. Yeah, 51-99. So there you go.
There you go. That's a nice little pull there out of the pack. And we close with a couple of Lightning. We got a Young Guns retro, Nikita Kucherov. And then a Dazzlers Victor Hedman, who was just placed on the IR. Tampa Bay, kind of bumpy start to their season.
That it is. Yeah, I mean, the NHL right now is just, it's so, I guess, condensed, for lack of a better word. Like, we talked about the condensed schedule, but like just the standings in general, like not a whole lot of separate, unless you're Colorado and where you just win every night. There's not a lot of separation.
I was going to say there's not a lot of separation right now, and other than teams like Nashville's bad, Calgary's bad out west. That's pretty much like it.
Buffalo's bad.
Buffalo's a competitive bad. They play teams tough. They play teams close.
Toronto might be bad.
Joseph Wall's been all right for them since he's been playing. So let's see if that stabilizes them a little bit once they get healthy. Maybe Stolarz isn't as good as we thought. He did get his tires pumped a lot this offseason. I know he played well last year, but still. But yeah, it's a very, listen, there's on American Thanksgiving, however many teams that are currently in the playoffs usually get in stat. I'd have to look up the exact
That's
number.
going to be, that's not going to hold this year, I don't think.
This year is going to buck that trend probably, because there's going to be a few of those teams where you look at the list and like, as bad as the Rangers have been and as pathetic as their offense has been, they're not so far out of it. They've managed that because of the insane road record that seems to be, the pendulum seems to be coming back towards the mean there on that. But at Radko Gudas here with the Ducks, they are for real. I don't think they're going to fade. I don't know if they win the division, but they are for sure a playoff team if everything keeps going. We got a lot of Lightning here. We got Anthony Cirelli, Braden, who's had to step up for Braden Point, who has just not been good at all this year. I don't know what happened to him. I don't even know if you put him on Team Canada at this point.
I don't know. I would guess he's playing hurt. Would be my only guess.
It's gotta be. We got Nino Niederreiter here with a picture with the Winnipeg Jets. Ben Sherratt with Red Wings. Tom Wilson getting some Team Canada talk there for the upcoming Olympics in not Sochi. Wow, back in the time machine, Milan.
Milan, yes, yeah. I didn't realize they needed headhunters on Team Canada.
I mean, I guess for the Team USA games, you're going to need that, as you know, the Chuck brothers are coming. But yeah, I can't wait. The rosters.
But there's not really a lot of physicality in like international hockey, and particularly the Olympics, right?
Generally, no. But when it's USA Canada, you want to be ready for that, I guess. And Tom Wilson is not. He still contributes. It's not like we're talking about putting Rafi Torres.
Right. It's not Ryan Reeves.
Yeah. So, he does bring that. I think he's actually leading the team in scoring, or he's top 2 or 3 on the Capitals right now. We got Evgeny Dadonov, who is supposed to be coming back for the Devils soon, or just got hurt. I forget.
He just came back a few days ago, but he hasn't really done much of anything this season. So, I don't know if he's still dealing with the injury or if just no real chemistry there. By the way, like his legs there, he's like bent in a real awkward position with him getting as much torque on that shot. It's like he's trying to go 2 ways at once.
I was gonna say, I don't know if knee ligaments are really supposed to move in that kind of direction, but it does look. It almost looks like what was that rubber doll? Stretch Armstrong. There you go.
That's yeah. Stretch Armstrong.
We got Bobby McMahon. Speaking of Leafs that have been injured this year. Damn, this really is a lightning heavy pack. Andre Vasilevsky. I don't like those lightning sweaters at all. Those are they're awful. Dylan DeMello with the Winnipeg Jets. We've got We got another Toronto, another Tampa Bay Lightning. We got a young gun here. This is Declan Carlisle.
Sure.
And then we got an on tour Dallas Stars, Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston. And we closed the pack with a electricity Sebastian Aho with that wonderful Raleigh Durham skyline that we all know and love.
Of course, yes. With the campus of NC State right there.
Yeah, there you go. That's that. You know, I love the title of the series, Electricity with the City Landscape. Like I just picked up a Chris Kreider one over the weekend with, the New York skyline. Yeah, there are certain cities that don't benefit well from that. And the Hurricanes with Raleigh would definitely be one of them.
No, nobody's thinking of the Raleigh skyline.
Oh.
All right, you all set with the hockey? We get into the wrestling here.
Let's go. Let's do some wrestling. Wrestlepalooza, baby.
Yeah, we'll go for Wrestlepalooza, which
Wrestlepack Palooza.
Which, by the way, is an event now. They added that to once ESPN got the rights to air the pay-per-views. So yeah, we go a lot of wrestling cards here. The Magnificent Morocco. We're starting with the WrestleMania 3 cards first. Oh yeah, Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth right there.
That's a good one.
Legends, right? I mean these guys are all legends. No, maybe not so much Outback Jack, but I'm sure
Crocodile Dundee knockoff.
Right, but like Tito Santana. Let's see. Reed is riled. Action ringside action card there. So yeah, it looks like he's jumping over the top rope and hitting somebody there. Let's see. We have a Ken Patera card, but on the back of it is clearly part of like the Hulk Hogan, I guess, puzzle that you're supposed to put together.
Puzzle poster, whatever.
Yep. Let's see. Islanders attack here. Nothing to do with Matthew Schaefer and the New York Islanders. Let's see.
He's so good. It's so annoying how good he is already.
Yeah. Let's see. And still champion Hulk Hogan after defeating Andre the Giant in WrestleMania 3. One of the all-time classic moments there. Let's see. Honky Tonk Man there. He ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Great haircut.
And last but not least, Tama takes a beating, and this card has certainly seen better days there. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a lot of like bumps and whatnot on that card. Probably just the fact we're talking about like trading cards that are 4 decades old now at this point.
Yeah, close to 4 decades. Yeah, about 40 years from 87.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Now we're getting to cards that are they're just like 25 years old. So there you go.
We have some bricking. We'll see.
Since SmackDown debuted in 1999, I believe, towards the tail end of the last millennium. And you just get some funny action shots here. Like, let's see, Stone Cold Steve Austin pouring cement into Vince McMahon's limo.
Oh, that's a classic right there.
Vince in a wheelchair right there, which is funny. Austin getting in McMahon's face and yelling at him. I mean, that was one of the big rivalries of the late 90s was Austin and McMahon.
These cards kind of remind me of like Top Stadium Club, where it's all about the picture and it's very minimal everything else.
But you know what? When it's all about the picture, and then you have Terry Reynolds and Jacqueline right there, I'm not going to complain that it's all about the picture.
Looks like it's straight out of like Sports Illustrated swimsuit 98.
100%, yeah. Let's see. We have the big Val Venus. Remember, the 90s was a wild time where you could actually have a porn star gimmick.
People are okay with it. I think we're swinging back that way, though.
I'm certainly not okay with that. Let's see. We have Undertaker and Kane.
Wow, he looks so young there.
Yeah, and it's funny. It says, they faced off at the Survivor Series tournament to decide the Federation champion. Of course, it says these two brothers. Obviously, they're not brothers in real life, but in kayfabe storyline,
maybe in Hulk Hogan context, they're brothers. But
yeah, it's a Hulk Hogan. Everybody's a brother. Let's see. One of the cooler gimmicks when the Brood Gangrel there, the whole vampire gimmick. That was pretty cool. And when they would the lights would go out and they would come back on, somebody was just drenched in quote unquote blood. Here's a bloodbath.
See, this was probably like the era as I started to come out of watching wrestling, like right about here.
Right, and I loved a lot of like those mid Carters at the time, and he was certainly one of them. Let's see, we have Ivory here. Just a few more cards here. The late great Draws. Unfortunately, he was paralyzed in a in-ring accident, and now he's no longer with us, which is sad. But one of those moments you look back and cringe. Rock versus Foley, and Foley's about to take a direct chair shot to the head there, which knowing what we know now about CTE, not what you want to see.
No, I mean, listen, I understand times are different. You could look back at old football and hockey highlights and wow, look at that hit. It's like, okay, in context that we know now, that's not great. But hey, at the time, like, you didn't know.
Yeah,
Or we ignored it, or we ignored it. I don't know who you talk to.
Let's see. Kane looks like he's squatting here. Maybe he has to drop a deuce. I'm not 100% sure there.
It's possible. Maybe he's
And
trying to be a gargoyle.
and last but not least, looks like Test giving some sort of power slam to Undertaker there. So there you go.
There you go. Solid pack. The top stadium club equivalent, wrestling equivalent there. All about the photos.
Yep. Now we got one more pack here. We get the modern WWE Tops cards. So we'll see if there's anyone actually wrestling this weekend in any of these packs.
So rank the hierarchy of like the wrestling major events. Like obviously WrestleMania is the top one. But then like what would go be second, third, fourth?
WrestleMania is one. I think Royal Rumble is a clear number two.
I would agree
because it leads into WrestleMania season. And then I think you could debate SummerSlam versus Survivor Series because now they do these War Game styles matches in Survivor Series. I'd actually put Survivor Series ahead of SummerSlam, but they like to say SummerSlam is like their biggest show, their second biggest show of the year. So, I don't know. I think it's debatable, but like I'm a fan of like the gimmick matches like that, and War Games. You got the two cages, the two rings, which you don't see often, surrounded by the cage, and then everyone comes in, and one person per team, and I like the AEW version because they do the same exact match except they call it Blood and Guts, and it's just a bloody mess with a million weapons and whatnot, and it's just a lot more fun to watch. WWE will be a little more sanitized, I guess, for lack of a better term. There'll be weapons, but like they're not gonna just blade and bleed all over the place. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. The Miz and John Morrison win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Okay. Neither one of them's on the card this week. We have a rookie card here for Reggie. I don't know who Reggie is. So apparently he was the 24/7 champion at one point with that Waffle House style looking title. So there you go.
It's a nice blazer. Give him that.
It is a nice blazer. Let's see. All right, here's a more old school card here. Scott Hall defeating Roddy Piper for the United States Championship. So nice
Look
Hall
at
of
that
Fame.
old school.
Yeah,
and even just like the attire they're in. That's cool.
So we got that. Let's see. We have the coolest mixed tag teams here with Natalia and Shinsuke Nakamura. So there you go. There was a stretch of there we're doing like a mixed tag team tournament or a whole bunch of those shows. Let's see. Viking Raiders defeat the Street Profits. Okay. There's a lot of people who really aren't with the company anymore. Like for example, Sonya Deville, a female wrestler there. So don't really have much to say about her. Last card I have here is Randy Orton challenging Edge to a wrestling match. So there you go.
Here we go. Hey.
So nothing really noteworthy from any of these wrestling cards, but it was a good excuse to do it though, because with Survivor Series this weekend, and since I actually am subscribed to the ESPN Unlimited on, I think that's Saturday. I don't have anything on Saturday night. I'll probably just watch that. Watch college football. Like, come on.
I'll probably have hockey on, but that's what I usually have on a Saturday anyway. But we'll see. We'll see how Saturday goes. But we want to get down to the thing we're aiming to do today. We got a good 10 to 15 minutes here we can spend on this. We like we talked about before, how the genesis of the idea came up with Simpsons' most irresponsible characters, and we've rattled off. We tried to both come up with a top 5, and there was overlap, so we ended up with a total of 7 on the list here. Let's take a look at number 1 on the list, and of course, you got to start with Homer J. Simpson. Doesn't know anything about his job, like
right,
absolutely nothing. If he gets a pile of sugar off the side of the highway that he stole, he'll not go to work to try and peddle that off. So like
for $1 a bag.
it's not like he tries to be good at his job and just can't, whatever. No, he don't even care. And I know some people don't like their job. You still got to show up and try.
Well, and here's the thing with Homer and why he was number one on my job list for most irresponsible. It's one thing if you're bad at your job or you don't know anything about your job. It's another thing if you're bad at your job at a nuclear power plant as a safety technician, because the entire town is sort of depending on you to like not accidentally hit the wrong button and have like Chernobyl like 2.0.
And the other things on the list I know we are obvious to me. The selfish and rationing situations. We're on the camping trip with the Boy Scouts when they're out on the road.
That's right. Yes.
And he's like, "Oh, look, conserve water. Look, water all around everything." Can't drink that water. You got to desalinate it, Homer. There you go. And then the other one, the lack of awareness of children's fears. Bart's got Sideshow Bob on, and he's popping in the room with chainsaws and butcher knives and hockey masks. Just no awareness of his childhood. Also, I know his heart was in the right place trying to build his son a bed, but like that clown bed would scare me. I'm not getting into that bed, and you keep the lights on all night. When he built for Bart when he was a baby.
I'm going to ask a silly question here. Is Homer Simpson actually a good father?
He tried. I think
he ultimately is at the end of the day, because he does try, and like he will go to bat for his children, and like he'll. But like he needs a lot of stuff there that's really questionable.
So when Marge gets addicted to gambling, like he does try to, the house falls apart. He's like got Tom Collins and cloves and frozen pie mix, trying to serve that off as a meal.
Yes,
he's trying. He's not succeeding, but his heart and his head are trying to be in the right place. Like the kids still got to school. Maggie survived. But just totally irresponsible. Just not somebody I would trust to, come feed the dog on a weekend. Right. That's not happening. Next on the list, C. Montgomery Burns. And,
yes.
Of course, we talk about lack of safety and awareness at a power plant. This guy sets the tone in that department. Employing ducks to move around nuclear waste, towing it around back and forth in the facility.
No, it's just ducks.
It's just a duck. They
remember the duck's name?
Smart, but they're not transport radioactive waste smart, I feel like.
Do you remember the duck's name?
No.
It was Stuart.
It's a good duck name. I feel like that's solid.
It's a good duck name. If I had a duck, I would call him Stuart.
He thought that the South American soccer team was his. That plane crashed on my property.
Right. And him offering I can't remember the Eastern European immigrant's name, but he offered him a shiny penny.
Yes. He had that $1 trillion bill. He didn't, for a guy that supposedly has a lot of money, he didn't really take good care of it, just handing it over to Castro, and then Castro, does a Putin with the Robert Kraft Super Bowl ring and goes, "What do you mean?"
Yes.
What do you mean?
That's where Putin got it from.
Guaranteed. If you ever got a chance, if you ever had to like serve on trial, like somebody's got to answer that question. Did you get the idea for that from the Simpsons? Because the Simpsons did it first. They always, and then you see the other things on the list there, that he's not a morally responsible guy by any means. Yes, he's a rich guy, maintains a house and a power plant, but he is just anything to save a penny, he will make that decision.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously he's dumping nuclear waste anywhere. All those bald children were raising suspicions, so I completely understand that. I also look at it as with the Homer thing, with him being a safety inspector. I don't blame you. I blame the person that hired you. And ultimately, like when it comes to what goes on at the power plant, but like the buck stops with C. Montgomery Burns. So that's why he made my list there.
I mean,
and also he's evil, and like, not quite like cartoonish evil, more like, like rich guy with too much money and power evil.
Now let's talk about just straight up incompetence. Chief Wiggum. Chief Clancy Wiggum uses his gun to open walnuts.
That he did, yes.
Abuse of power when Lisa says she's not interested in Ralph. All of a sudden, Homer's getting pulled over and getting busted taillights. Funny how that works out. At the B Sharps reunion, because he was a little spiteful that he got booted from the band, he unleashes tear gas at a very big moment. Mistakes high school athletes for zombies to the point where he shoots them. And then, of course, I get that he want to get the prisoners out and about, but maybe a youth hockey game is not the place to let them out and watch. I know you're the coach of the team. You guys promised to come back, right?
Yeah, the honor system. Yes. Well, you know how he is. He'd rather let a million guilty people go free than chase after them, or however the saying was.
I mean, he's just listen. I mean, he's just a terrible cop, and I don't even know if he tries. You're getting multiple phone calls of an elephant stomping around town. One or two might be a prank, but once you get to 3, 4, 5, you might want to just look outside and see if you hear anything.
Yeah, but he'll drop what he's doing if there's beer coming out of the Simpsons chimney.
It's true. Listen, everybody's got to get a free glass there. Right? You got to get in and get your free beer. So yeah, we're about halfway through the list here. We got 4 more to go on this edition of Rip N Riff, Simpsons' most irresponsible characters. Next up on the list, Dr. Nick Riviere. If we're going to talk about nuclear power safety and law enforcement, have to do just the complete opposite of Dr. Hibbard. Doesn't know basic anatomy, sews legs onto shoulder sockets and arms onto hip sockets.
Mr. McGregor can attest to that.
Now, I appreciate the trying to be efficient with what you got there, but using rubber gloves from a toilet cleaning supply kit for surgery, probably not the way to go.
I don't know.
160 cases of malpractice as of whenever that was uttered on the show, so probably well north of 200-300 by now. Performed surgery with a knife and a fork, and then when Smithers was dealing with anaphylactic shock due to multiple bee stings, he throws him some change for booze. So not the best stuff. Most doctors, if they see somebody lying, they're going to check for some symptoms. They're going to here's some change, get a drink.
Yeah, I've never seen a doctor, their prescription is go get a drink. And in fairness, with the performance surgery with a knife and fork, which he got from a seafood restaurant, by the way, at least
he wiped it with a napkin.
Yeah, he did clean him with his napkin.
Dr. Nick, I mean, he's. I can make the argument he's the most irresponsible on the show.
I mean, he performs open heart surgery for $129.99. Call 1-800-DOCTOR. The bees for barking.
Listen, he gives you a good deal, if nothing else. He doesn't rip you off. I mean,
that's true. But I'm not sure I would trust him to perform open heart surgery or any operation.
I wouldn't trust him to treat a wart. Next on the list, Krusty the Clown. Let's see here. Let's run through the list. So, I understand maybe you want to take a shot on the Generals being due against the Globetrotters, but you put maybe a quarter of a unit on that or a half a unit. Not everything you've got. The dilapidated summer camps, where you got fake Krusty showing up and it turns into a Lord of the Flies situation. Sharp objects as cereal rewards. I do miss that we used to put legitimate rewards in cereal. Maybe not little mini blades, but something to play with. Gambling away your daughter's prized possession. You can't be doing that. He gets bribed for rewards. He gets it says the quiet part out loud and the quiet doesn't. So you got moved to a bigger house. Smokes on set with children around. I mean, that right? You can't be doing that. And then who has a beef with the Special Olympics? I mean, come on now.
Oh, that's right. He smoked the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
There's so much here that you haven't even put on the list. Anytime he's ever tasted food at the Krusty Burger, it makes him physically ill.
Yeah, he still sells.
And not just that, also the he was gonna try the jagged metal. It turned out to be a regular Krusty-O, and that also made him sick.
That's right. I forgot about.
Oh, and all the Krusty brand stuff, the alarm clock that was insanely hot to the touch.
He's he just he likes to slap his name on things, whatever's gonna get
his name out to anything.
Yeah, he's fine with it. So yeah, Krusty definitely one of the more irresponsible. Just treats his. Listen, I'm not saying what Sideshow Bob did is okay, but he treats Sideshow Mel like garbage. He treated Sideshow Bob like garbage. So he's just not a good guy.
Well, no, he's not.
Got 2 more on the list here, and this was one that was on your list. Otto Man drives the school bus drives the school bus under the influence, presumably twice a day. Not cleaning his hair out of the drain. That's what gets me. Come on, bro, you see that there? Just scoop it out and throw it in the trash or flush it. Something. Tries to tip the bus over on sharp turns. Can't be doing that with the school buses full. There was the Metallic episode where like they just like no, even they were like, nah, no way, not you. They went with Mole Man instead. And then
I don't remember the Metallica. Is that a newer episode?
that was one of the newer ones, like you post whatever season. I forget exactly what season it was from.
Like, there's been a lot of Auto Metallica references over the years.
No, they did like one of those guest appearances, like where their tour bus or whatever breaks down, and he offers to give him a ride, but then like something happens and you're not cool anymore or whatever. So it was like one of those like brief. They each have like a line or two appearances. That's it. Bart's trying to tell him there's gremlins on the side of the bus, referring to an actual gremlin. He sees a Mole Man driving a late 70s gremlin and right off the road. You can't be doing that.
I mean, it is Mole Man, so I don't know. Yeah, like, look, there's a lot here with Automen. Obviously, the drug use, and like, I'm not judging someone who enjoys the occasional marijuana. Yeah, I'm not judging that, but
you just can't be doing it with the school bus full of kids.
They've also insinuated that like he has a girl named Crystal, so like I'm sure that was a crystal meth joke, and that I'm sure he's got a wide palette when it comes to different substances you can take. Now he did hire a Poison cover band for his wedding. I wouldn't say that's irresponsible. I'd say that's actually pretty cool. Do you remember what the Poison cover band's name was?
No, I do not.
It was Cyanide. Which, if you were going to have a Poison cover band, I think Cyanide would be a pretty good name for it.
It's also a Metallica track off of the Death Magnetic.
There you
go. So there we go. One last one to get to here before we wrap things up on this edition of Rip N Riff is and this is an oldie but a goodie. Maybe you remember or maybe you don't. Lionel Hutz, a lawyer that has no problem drinking scotch early in the morning. Repeatedly ran over a judge's child. He can't be doing that in general, but as a lawyer, that's really detrimental to your cause. The truth speech when Marge was a realtor. He did try to like pilfer from the Bouvier will. You can't be doing that. And so things get so bad for him that he might have to become Miguel Sanchez. When he's burning stuff up in the fireplace while babysitting for $10 in a bird cage that's already broken.
There's a lot of stuff that was insinuated with Lionel Hutz that we never actually got to see on the show, and it's really unfortunate that Phil Hartman was murdered, because you could have gone a lot of different directions with Lionel Hutz's character in future seasons of The Simpsons, and you could have really, gone down that wormhole. But I mean, at least he never put Skittles in beer and called it Skittlebrow like Homer. So there you go.
That wasn't real anyway. That was something he made up, according to Apu.
Oh, that's true. Well, he did get a pack of Skittles and a 6-pack of beer, though. So it actually might have been real. He might have just came up with the idea and just decided to do it.
So Lionel Hutz, I feel like, would have been on that like second, if Phil Hartman was still with us, would have maintained as like that second tier of characters that are in every 4 or 5 episodes. Say like he would absolutely. I mean, Troy McClure too. Another one, Lyle Stanley or whatever the guy's name was from
Lyle Lampley. Yeah,
Lyle Lampley from
the monorail guy.
Yeah, that one like one time, but the other two absolutely hung around. So R.I.P. Phil Hartman. But that does it for this edition of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. Don't forget, you can check out all of Jared's hockey work, talking about Jack Hughes' hand and other things at allaboutthejersey.com. Also, great poker content at Jared More Poker. Total Hockey Now, usually Thursdays, but this week, because of the way Thanksgiving schedule is, we're going to come at you Tuesday. Full rundown of the Wednesday slate, because there's only one Tuesday game. There's 15 Wednesday games. And we might just do a mid-season fantasy hockey mock draft. Why not? But at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Fucking Thoughts Adam Bernard. Back with you next Monday, 1st of December, a new episode of Rip N Riff. Thanks everybody for watching, and happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe.